Oscar De La Hoya and Shakur Stevenson go at it. They seem like they were buddy-buddy, maybe like they were about to sign a deal, but it seems like Shakur Stevenson isn't going to go in the direction of Golden Boy Promotions, and that's fine, that's fine. Shakur's got to do what's best for his career, but Oscar De La Hoya releasing a video on social media where he just kind of went at Shakur Stevenson, did his little clap back and said that he doesn't sign boring fighters. If a fighter doesn't want to fight for the fans, that's someone that Oscar De La Hoya simply cannot promote. And honestly, I give respect to Oscar De La Hoya for saying that, saying it how he feels, and you know, telling the truth on his behalf. And then Shakur Stevenson also responded with his own rebuttal by saying he only said that once I already made my decision not to, you know, sign with him. So maybe Shakur Stevenson already has made his decision. Maybe he's signing with Floyd or re-signing with Top Rank, going with Al Heyman. Who knows what he's going to do, but it's interesting to hear Oscar De La Hoya doesn't promote fighters that, you know, aren't willing to fight for the fans. And I told you guys that, you know, in Shakur Stevenson's most recent performance, and Shakur always fights the same way. I'm not saying that he should have, you know, tried to knock Artem Harnatunian out. It would have been nice. It would have, you know, gave him some extra leverage in these negotiation processes, but maybe he's going to go with Eddie. Maybe he's going to go with Top Rank. Floyd, you know, we don't know what he's going to do yet. Maybe by this time he'll have released a statement, but still, you know, just looking at that fight with Artem, I think that there was more that Shakur could have proved. He could have entertained the fans a little bit more, and it's something that Shushu Carrington said that stood out to me. He said that, and this is a top-ranked fighter, a guy that still respects Shakur Stevenson and is a great fighter himself at, you know, fighting for Top Rank, potentially one of Inui's or, you know, Bam Rodriguez, around those weight classes. He's one of those guys as well, Shushu Carrington. So shout out to him. He was talking about Shakur Stevenson, saying that if it was in front of his hometown, he would have stepped on the gas. He wanted to see more, expected more from Shakur Stevenson, and Shakur wasn't happy about that. But it seems that even a lot of fighters and former fighters and Hall of Famers were talking about Shakur Stevenson. And although, you know, a lot of people have good things to say about him, there's always, you know, common things that a lot of legends and respected people in the sport, like Tim Bradley, Roy Jones, Andre Berto, they're all saying similar things about Shakur Stevenson, that he's not entertaining the people, and that's a big reason why they kind of question his ability to, you know, go out there and show that killer instinct. That's what a lot of people have been skeptical when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. And I know Shakur's a great fighter, but it's more so about, also, do you have that ability to flip that switch? Can you turn on a switch that makes you turn into a different animal, shift into third, fourth, fifth gear? I didn't see that from Shakur Stevenson against Artem Harnatunian, and he said it himself, that he feels like he has a lot to still work on in the gym, and he's excited to get back into the lab and work on these things. But I think it's more so, you know, it's got to come from the heart. It's got to come from the chest as well. I'm not telling him to engage it and then get caught with something big and, you know, get caught slipping. I'm not saying that, because I understand, you know, if you try to take more risk, which is what a lot of people are asking him to do, it also leaves you vulnerable for counter shots, as we all know. And that's why, you know, when I break down that Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and I try to be not biased about it, because I've always like thought, you know, how's Shakur gonna deal with the power? And I still feel that way, because if you think about it, Shakur Stevenson, he's got to worry about the power. Yeah, he could outbox Tank. This is a very competitive fight, but the thing is that I always say, when all else is equal, what is the outlier? And in this particular matchup, Tank's power is the outlier, because they're both skilled, both talented, they both know how to set traps, they both have high IQ. Let's not underestimate Tank's IQ. Everyone seems to be saying that, you know, Tank has the lower IQ in comparison to Shakur Stevenson. When I'm looking at Tank's fight, I'm not just looking at the knockout, I'm looking at how he strategically gets these fighters in a position to where he can land a clean shot and get a combination off. You know, execution is what I take into account. I think that's associated with a boxer's IQ. So I don't overlook that kind of stuff just because Tank's getting knockouts. It's the same way with Shakur Stevenson. Just because he gets a decision win, it's effective. You know, he still dominates fights. We're more so waiting for that killer to be shown, and that's what a lot of people are questioning about Shakur Stevenson. That's why Oscar De La Hoya said what he said, that, you know, if you're not willing to fight for the fans, you're not somebody that I can promote. That's how Oscar feels, and if you think about it, it has some truth to it, because Oscar only promotes like Jaime Munguia, Virgil Ortiz, Ryan Garcia, William Zepeda. So like, those are all crazy, you know, they're all Mexicans, but at the same time, those are crazy, athletic, and entertaining fighters that are talented as well. So I kind of understand that, you know, maybe Oscar De La Hoya is really mainly prioritizing those Mexican fighters where, you know, they have the exciting style, they're going to make a lot of money, you know, bringing a lot of people to their fights, selling out arenas, and selling a lot of pay-per-view buys, because who wouldn't want to see these guys fight? Because no matter what, you could say that they're not the most defensive fighters of all time, and they don't have lockdown defense, but they can fight. You know, they're gonna put on a show, and everybody knows that boxing's about entertainment as well. Let's not, you know, as important as the sweet science is, and getting a win is getting a win. But you know, the gladiator, the brutality aspect is never gonna go away. That's why a lot of people love the sport as well. The sweet science is important as well. You know, the foundation of the sport, the fundamentals, everything along those lines. It's about mechanics and getting it down to a T, perfecting a craft. But also, you know, you're telling me that a lot of people aren't excited by knockouts. That's just not true. You know, Tank is at where he's at for a reason. Ryan Garcia's at, you know, for a reason, because they are, at the end of the day, getting these exciting knockout performances. So, you know, everybody has their own destiny. At the same time, Shakur Stevenson has his own, you know, itinerary, what he wants to get done. And he's made it clear, you know, he said it to his fans in a recent interview, that if you guys are wanting me to engage and take a shot, to land a shot, you're going to be waiting all your life, because that's just never going to happen. He's not one of those fighters, and it's not in him to do that. He doesn't want to get hit. No fighter should want to get hit, but at the end of the day, Tank kind of has an understanding of whether or not his opponent can hurt him. So if it takes, you know, taking a shot to get in position to land a big shot of his own where it's going to put the other fighter out, then Tank says, why not? Why not get hit with that shot if I know he can't hurt me? You know, if you look back, you know, years ago when Tank was asked about Shakur Stevenson, and it was more of a, you know, an out in the open discussion where Tank didn't really have a problem talking about Shakur. Now he doesn't really want to talk about Shakur, but before, Tank used to talk about Shakur and say, you know, all that boxing, what's he gonna do, you know, with no power? What's he gonna do with no power when I'm coming for him? You know, that's the kind of stuff that he has to worry about. And not to say that, you know, Shakur doesn't have the ability to counter Tank and land shots in between that keep Tank at bay a little bit, but to what extent can you keep a guy at bay if he doesn't respect your power? That's the problem that I see Shakur Stevenson having, especially if he doesn't find a way to balance the defense with the offense. The defense is solid. His defense is the best in boxing, but the offense also has to kind of be on that similar level, because then you look too defensive. You look like your offense is a little bit weaker because your defense is so strong. So it can be kind of confusing sometimes, because maybe Shakur Stevenson is just good and the defense is so good that people like wish he had more offense, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he dominates everybody that he's in the ring with. So, you know, people like to bring up the De Los Santos fight. I just think that, you know, that's a difficult style for anybody. You look at his fight with Rayo. De Los Santos, you know, did a lot of damage to a guy like Rayo, who's a very talented, and at the same time, you know, he's a durable fighter, a ferocious fighter, and, you know, look how De Los Santos did him. So Shakur's fighting guys that I think people don't, he doesn't get the respect that he deserves for the opponents that he's fighting. But at the same time, you know, these guys still aren't on his level, because I really hold Shakur to a high standard. That's why we're saying we want to see more offense. We want to see you let your hands go, because at the end of the day, if you're not, you know, putting on a show for your own hometown, then it's like, why, you know, you wear Newark on your trunks and then you go to Newark and then put on a performance where you're not really willing to take risks. Especially if it's against the guy that, you know isn't much of a threat. But Shakur even said that he gives Artem Harnatunian more respect than, you know, the fans are giving him. Everybody always likes to call, if it's not Shakur, if it's not Tank, if it's not Lomachenko, everyone calls, you know, the fighter an Uber driver, a taxi driver. You know, they call him a 7-Eleven worker, this and that, a pizza delivery guy. So it's just crazy. You know, nowadays any pro that's not a superstar at the moment is considered a bum. So people have to give credit to Shakur, you know, for fighting guys that, you know, it may be a high risk fight, but a very low level reward. But, you know, Shakur's continuing to do his thing. I would just like to see him be a little bit more active when it comes to the jab and when it comes to letting his hands go. He's got to be a little bit more, you know, more more output when it comes to volume punching, in my opinion. Just let your hands go, like Terrence Bud Crawford said. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Oscar De La Hoya goes at Shakur Stevenson, saying he's not signing him because he doesn't fight for the fans. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nads Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.